Hello, and welcome to the Come to Your Senses podcast. I'm your host, embodiment-based coach, Mary Lofgren. Here, we explore how to live bravely and beautifully through a lifestyle of embodiment. You'll hear gems to empower you around mindset, mindfulness, somatic psychology, and neuroscience, as well as beauty, food, style, and the art of slow living to meet your soul through the senses. I am so happy that you're here. Let's begin. Hello, beauties, and welcome to Come to Your Senses. It is a busy week over here. I feel a bit like a Christmas elf because we have multiple things going on in the Come to Your Senses universe. This week, I am starting beauty discovery sessions with my current coaching clients, which is where we've been working together for a couple of months, getting to know one another and making amazing shifts and changes on the inside. And now we begin to shift our awareness to having your outsides meet your insides. And so we do a special session devoted to your style, your skincare, your makeup, your hair. And I'm so excited. It's one of my favorite things to do in the world. I would pay people to let me do it, to be honest, because I just get so much joy from it. And so in honor of that, I'm going to share some jewels and gems with you today on the healing power of beauty. This topic has also been on my mind because next week I am going to be teaching a free class, one of my signature workshops called Embodied Woman Open Heart. Release overthinking and reclaim your presence through embodiment. This class is taking place on Wednesday, June 15th. You can sign up for it by going to schoolofsensualliving.com/free. And when we talk about beauty and embodying beauty, I think what we're really talking about is life force being visible. Because when we are embodied, in other words, when we are in the present moment, our senses are attuned, our heart is open, we carry a certain presence where source is sensible. So interesting. I've never really thought about the word sensible before, but in other words, you can sense source in a woman or a person who is in their body. There is a potency there. There is a richness. There is a visible devotion to that person's inner knowing. And there's an obvious relationship between that person and their ability to lay down in their own dark corners. They're not afraid to show you their authentic self, which creates a really irresistible quality of magnetism. And this is what brought me to embodiment work. It's what crafted my career in the embodied arts for the last 22 years. It's what I do with clients. And I would love to share a tablespoon, a ladleful of this experience and this essence with you. So in this 60-minute class, we're going to talk about techniques to help release overthinking. I personally don't know that much about overthinking. I've only dedicated my whole life to being free from it. But releasing overthinking, which is often just tension in the body that's asking to be released, and reclaiming your energy by loosening up that life force and being able to hear your inner voice. We're also going to talk about resistance and how to free up frozen life force that's locked in an experience of resistance and direct it more in the direction that you want it to go. I'm going to share with you a cycle that I see so many of my clients caught in, and that has changed my life to really understand what's going on when we encounter something that we name or label resistance, and that it seems like if we just work harder, that will get us further, but that is the actual thing that's keeping us stuck. And so we're going to talk about how to identify that and also how to work your way out of that wherever you find yourself in this particular 4-stage cycle, and find your power again, which is always in the present moment. And so if the idea of moving through life in a state of being more open-hearted from an embodied place, and I say that because I think, or at least my experience has been that sometimes open-heartedness for me has been confused with spiritual bypass. And that has really harmed me, and it's actually caused me to close my heart further. And so in this class, we're going to be talking about defining your relationship to open-heartedness and what it means to stay in the wild and wonderful and wacky and sometimes awful and terrible and painful beauty, to bring it back to our topic du jour, that is the human experience, and to emanate that essence that is an open heart. So schoolofsensualliving.com/free. I would love to have you as my guest Wednesday, June 15th. Healing through beauty. A little while ago, I was in the hospital. I was really scared and really desperate. And in a hospital setting, I wouldn't call it a sensual sanctuary. I was very grateful for the love of the nurses and for all of the ways that beauty presented itself in that environment. But the shampoo and conditioner in one that was in the shower, not so much. Didn't really feel beauty's essence as much there. And I asked a friend to drop off my favorite beauty products. I'll just share a few of them here now. The Kate McLeod Body Stone, Ultra Calming Cleanser, and my friend Elise Marie's Beauty Witch Serum. And I'll pop a link to all of these in the show notes. And the moment they arrived, just the sight of that bamboo canister that the melty shea butter body stone comes in, and the jasmine wafting through the air in that clinical cleaning product smelling room, restored my sense of dignity in a very vulnerable moment in my life. These simple pleasures really came to the rescue to restore me to a sense of sanity. And to me, this is one of the truest essences of beauty, is not just its ability to aesthetically please, and it's not just its ability to inspire, both of which are my religion, not to diminish those aspects, but it's its ability to heal and to reconnect us to the way in which Source is present at all times and accessible through the senses. And so that's our first gem today, is simply beauty is. It's kind of like the mantra or the affirmation, I am. Don't really need anything behind that. You don't need to explain. You don't need to demonstrate or describe. You simply are. And beauty simply is. So in that moment, in that environment, there was, as I said, the love and the care of the nurses. Big shout out to nurses everywhere. My mom is a nurse. And there's just nothing like the embrace of a nurse's warmth. The teddy bears on the nurse's scrubs, the sunshine as it peeked through the window, the beauty of my roommate who was in a really difficult spot and her courage and her tenacity. You know, beauty sometimes feels like it is or it isn't when we are conditioned into a state of learned beauty. I often give the example of being a little kid where I was outside all the time, and so I had dirty feet from being on the earth in bare feet and in the grass, and scratches up and down my legs from tromping through the woods. And on Sundays, when we would go to church, this was unacceptable. And so I got squeezed and squelched into a pair of itchy tights. And that was a great example of a moment where I learned bare legs that have a devotion and a connection to nature, are unbeautiful and unworthy of the house of the Lord. At least that was what my little mind interpreted. And real beauty simply is. Real beauty is inherent in all things. I don't care if you're listening to this as you drive up and down the coast of the Azores, as one client emailed me and told me I was on her trip with her. Thank you so much. Warms my heart to know that I get to go on adventures with you all. So I don't care if you're driving up and down a green, lush coast, or if you're sitting on the floor of your living room with the dirty carpet covered in baby vomit with unbrushed teeth. Beauty is. You are beautiful, full of beauty. Beauty is around you. There is beauty in that baby vomit. There is beauty in your unbrushed hair. And so that's your first gem. Beauty simply is. The next gem is around the beauty of the mind. I feel like the mind kind of gets a bad rap these days. I, as a person who is very interested and committed to personal growth and to practicing a mindful life, sometimes it feels like the mind is this evil wizard that we're fighting against. But really, the mind is just this enthusiastic puppy that wants to serve us and protect us and grow us and help us get what we want, and partners with the subconscious who might have different desires than what our conscious mind thinks or says it wants. And so I share that because I think one of the most beautifying things that we can do is to befriend our own mind. And there are two ways that we do that in the embodied intelligence coaching method. One is through mindset, and the other is through mindfulness. So mindset is simply a way of planting luscious seeds in the garden of your mind, seeds of possibility. I like to say that if you are looking for a positivity coach, I am probably not your girl. But if you are looking for a possibility coach, step right up, my friend, because mindset training and thought work has really, really helped me and changed my life in recovering from PTSD and recognizing trauma-based thoughts, which are usually black or white thinking, cognitive distortions, catastrophic thinking, and just a way of seeing the world through a lens of unsafety. And mindset work has really, really helped me come back to myself and to see life through a more beautiful lens and see myself through a more beautiful lens. And one of the affirmations and thoughts that I like to practice is around enoughness. I think one of the things that most gives us the Cruella de Vil in the 101 Dalmatians cartoon spiral eyes, driving in her Rolls Royce with stringy hair and gripping the steering wheel, is there's not enough. There's not enough time. There's not enough money. There's not enough love. And so a thought to practice, you can just start right in this moment. There is enough time. There is no rush. There is enough money. There is enough love. I have enough time. I have enough money. I have enough love. And once again, I always feel the need to qualify that these thoughts are not intended to be a denial of reality, because I resisted mindset work for a long time because of the way I felt like it was gaslighting myself and spiritual bypassing. But when I let those thoughts take root in my own body, I have enough time, I have enough money, I have enough love. It's like a new window of possibility opens in my mind, that maybe this pitchfork that I often feel at my back driving me to do more, get more, have more, is actually just a distraction from what I already have. So I have enough time, I have enough money, I have enough love. Practicing those and seeing how those land in your body. And the other aspect of beautifying and befriending your mind is mindfulness. So I like to think of mindset as planting juicy seeds, and mindfulness as clearing the weeds and aerating the soil of your mind. Recently, I went on a date and I did my number one beauty practice in preparation for the date, which is to sit in the car before the date. This was the first date. And do what's called 4-7-8 breathing, which is a way of breathing. It's a mindfulness technique that mimics a sigh, and so it regulates the nervous system. And to just be in the quiet. Because before meeting a new person in a romantic context, all the squirrels come out of their little hidey holes. And, I certainly am more relaxed in my life around first dates than I ever have been before, but the unknowns of meeting a new person cause those little squirrels of self-doubt and nervousness and bullying when you were a kid and you're a loser and all those types of things to come out of their little hidey holes. And so beauty to me is presence. It's that open-hearted, I am here, I am present with you as you are and as I am. So in other words, mindfulness to me is kind of like mental banaka. And one of my most important beauty rituals is to just sit in the car and take deep breaths and pause and slow down and connect with my heart. So I encourage you to practice that the next time you feel like you need a little fresh maker up there in your noggin. I know Mentos is the fresh maker, not Banaka, but you get what I'm saying. And the last gem that I want to share with you is that beauty is worth it. So one of the things that I do, I live in a small mountain city in North Carolina, and it is decidedly unfancy here. I mean, others may beg to differ. I live in Asheville, North Carolina. Some call it the Paris of the South. I will save that topic for another day. I find this to be more like the Woodstock of the South. I grew up near Woodstock. There's a chic aspect. There's also a kind of hippie aspect, and I digress. But one of the things that I find lacking here is glamour. And so I have taken it upon myself to be the party that I wish to attend. And in fact, there is a podcast episode that I recorded around creating meaningful parties and gatherings that I will pop in the show notes as well, if you desire tips around being the party you wish to attend. And so the first Friday of every month, I host a Fancy Friday Supper Club gathering where I get a handful of friends who love to adorn, and we go out to a fancy restaurant, and I bring what's called the cocktail purse of curiosity. And I encourage each woman to drop a question that she'd like to pose to the table. It could be something like, what was the most erotic moment of your life? that didn't involve sex? That was one of the questions from one of our dinner parties. Another one might be, what are you just so wanting to let go of right now? So these questions that open up deeper, more intimate windows of conversation. And the lubricant of beauty and the safety that beauty creates, where each woman arrives at the table, and usually they don't know each other because I just send it out to 20 or so friends, and whoever RSVPs and is available can come. And so there's like an awkwardness and an excitement. But then when a woman shows up at the table, oh my God, you look gorgeous, And so she meets this wall of worship upon meeting the group. And it would be very easy to gather the exact same group of friends and not get fancy. But the commonality of beauty and expression, when a woman dares to express herself through style, is breathtaking and is bonding. And so beauty, if you're ever wondering, if you're ever questioning, showing the world the art that you are through beauty is always worth it. And so those are your gems for today, my love. Again, if you desire to have an even deeper, more embodied experience of the essence that we're talking about today, which is really ultimately what I would describe as open-heartedness, an embodied experience of true beauty, come to Embodied Woman Open Heart, Wednesday, June 15th. You can get all the juicy details and sign up at schoolofsensualliving.com/free. And thank you so much for listening. I will see you next week. For coaching, classes, and community in creating a lifestyle of embodiment, head to schoolofsensualliving.com. There you'll find a free video series on how to reduce anxiety and intercept the stress response through powerful, confident body language. Head to schoolofsensualliving.com/confidence to watch your first video today.